Okay, yeah. So this was the document that we were following for all the training purposes so far till now. But now SAP has come up with the updated version, which includes Cloud Platform Integration Suite as well. So if you will see, I will be covering the latest content that is there in the market. So this will be the course content. You can see the number of slides has increased, and the topic is, if you will compare the two topics, there is a different difference on the unit number 1, that is introduction to cloud platform integration. Now we are having introduction to the CPI suite, cloud platform integration suite. So the number of topics that we are going to cover in this particular training sessions have increased. Let's first understand about the course. How are we going to approach this? So this is going to take like around 1 to 1.5 hours on a daily basis. We will be covering. On weekends, we will try to give a bit more time, like 2 or 3 hours. I can expect from you guys on at least one weekend, so that we can cover this course. Now, if you see the course curriculum that we are having, in this particular thing we are going to cover, if you can see that there is introduction to cloud platform integration. The difference in the two courses that we are, the updated one and the old one, is the difference of only unit number 1. First point. Okay, so we are going to cover all these concepts. Other units, if you will see, they remains as it is. Product overview, performing classification, explaining integration comprehensively. So these are going to remain same. They are not going to be any change on these particular aspects. You can see this. Product overview, your basic building blocks, it's very much same, all the other units. So after that, we will cover how to connect to Twitter basic scenario advanced, Twitter scenario extended, concept of secure communication, other security aspects. So in this particular case, the main point that you need to know is that we are going to cover cloud platform integration suite that is in the market so far. Okay. Also, apart from this course content, we are also going to cover some of the exercises. There are around 14 exercises in this course. So let me show you that also. So this is the exercise document that I'll be sharing with you guys. So introduce how to connect inbound communication, outbound. All these are the exercises that we are going to connect, right? Also, if you will see here, uh, apart from this, we are also going to look into cloud connector. How does cloud connector work and how to set up? That is something extra from this particular document that I have shown you. There are 14 exercises mentioned there. We are going to cover 15th one, that is setting up of cloud connector, and 16th one, how to set up the AWS connection and Amazon Web Services. So how to connect CPI with AWS, we are going to cover that as well. So this is the overall brief about your course curriculum. If you have any doubts, you can go ahead and ask me regarding this. If not, then we'll continue with the course. But before moving to course, I would like to know more about you guys, like how much experience you are having, you are from which background. It will be really great if you can introduce yourself to me, guys. Let's start with Apeksha. Hi, Apeksha. Can you hear me? Hello. Okay, Maruti. Hi, Maruti.
Yeah, hi,
Hello.
Mridul. I have of experience in SAP PIPO, and I'm
Okay.
looking to learn new CPI, new technology.
Okay, that's great. Welcome to the course. Gangadhar. Hi, Gangadhar.
Hey, hi. Hey, hi. Hey,
Yeah.
hi. I have total four years of experience, and I'm looking to learn SAP CPI. It is advanced version in the PI, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you
So,
are into PIPO, right? That's good.
yeah, I'm in PAPO.
That's amazing.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Third thing is, even I am from PIPO background, so later on I have migrated to CPI. So that's fine. Rajesh.
Hi
Hi,
Mridul,
Rajesh.
I have close to 11 years experience in PIPO, and I have worked on API management also, but CPI is new for me.
Okay, great. Ramendra. Ramendra.
Yeah, hi. This is Ramin. So I have 12 years of experience with 2 years of experience in PIPO. With the
Okay.
current requirement of CPI coming into our account, I'm just trying to learn CPI.
Okay, great. Welcome to the course. Sivaram.
Hi Mrudul, I'm having
Hi.
5.2 years of experience with PIP1DTI.
Okay, that's great. Means all of you are from PIPO background. That's amazing. This will help you. This will even help me to explain you some of the concepts because
Yeah.
some of the concepts are taken from PIPO in the CPI as well. So it's fine. Vijay.
Hi, I have 8 years of experience in SAP PAPO. I'm looking
Okay.
for the CPA training.
Okay, great, great. No problem, guys. So welcome to the course, and we are going to close this out. And first of all, let's first understand what are the advantages of the cloud. Let's go back to the course. Let's see how does it differ from an on-prem system. Okay. So guys, let's
Just
assume if
sorry to
you can see
interrupt.
my screen. Yeah.
Before starting the course, you said like earlier there is one version is there. Now we are following the like this 900 version like that you said, which is called as a integration suite. Okay. Earlier, when we are trying from the accessing for the CPA from the cockpit, they mention as a PAPO like that, right? Now made it as a integration suite. Please correct me if
Right,
I'm wrong.
absolutely. Yes, absolutely, you are right. So see,
Okay,
if you
fine.
talk about earlier, the how does this product, let's understand how this product evolved first of all. Earlier, we used to call it as HANA Cloud Integration, like in 2016, 17. At that time, it was called as HANA Cloud Integration, right? We were using Eclipse development tools, right, for all the development purpose. After that came CPI. It was a rebranding of the entire product. Okay, and now we are calling it as Cloud Integration Suite. Somewhere you will find it as CPIS. Still, but
Mhm.
most of the places you will find CPIS, but in the ongoing days, this term will go away from the market, and you will get this term Cloud Integration Suite. Even yesterday, I got a document from SAP. So what is there in that? The first, I cannot share you that, but there was a section like 2-3 pages how the recent representing these displays. So there was a topic on rebranding entirely. So in that, let me read it for you what they are mentioning. Just a second, huh? Let me read that. I was reading it in the night, so I found it interesting. I thought of sharing it with you. SAP Integration Suite. There's a topic called SAP Integration Suite. I'll just read 2-3 lines on that. Provides ready-built integration technology and content for SAP and non-SAP for cloud by and hybrid architectures, which help our customers to integrate everything. This is fine. There was a line specifically. Uh, so the point that I wanted to make here is that this entire thing is getting rebranded by SAP. Even now in certification aspects also, if you talk about, I have completed 4 certifications so far, including 2 in CPI. So there is a lot of things that are coming up,
What does that
like there is
mean?
CLT 900. Yeah.
The reason one is that right, SAP has partnered with Roger Consultancy to release 4 adapters, to enhance our integration and connectivity options, like Amazon, as you mentioned, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Dynamics CRM, like that.
Hmm.
And there is a couple of Sugar CRM also there.
Advanced core.
SAP itself developing the adapters. Why they have been tied with
No.
Roger Consultancy?
So see, it's just like you see, SAP has developed its own adapters, okay, but still they need they are taking support from other partners also. Like if you talk about AWS, AWS is not a standard adapter. If you will see, we will see in CPI there is no standard adapter for AWS. We need to explicitly deploy that. Okay, so the point is SAP cannot work together on each and everything. So they are taking support wherever required from other players in the market as well, and they are partnering with them
Then
instead
what is
of
the difference
developing.
between open connectors?
Open connectors are
Open.
very much different. See, in open connectors, if you are connecting using web services or if you are connecting using REST, what will happen is you can REST can be used for connecting to various multiple platforms, right? But in the case of
Right.
open connectors, they are point-to-point solutions, I will say. Like you will get application-based open connectors. You will get like for Google Drive, there is a open connector, so you can use that connected only to connect to Google Drive, though the underlying technology could be REST or JSON, whatever it is, right? For multiple applications, it can be the same, underlying technologies can be same, but the open connector that you are getting will be specific for connecting to that particular application only. Okay.
Like either we can use SAP defaultly by provided adapter or else application based adapter, right? And irrespective of their third party application.
Please come again. Please come with your question again.
See, basically, for example, if we take about the Twitter, we have SAP provider adapter also there, and also there is an as I mentioned, open connector that is also have a Twitter adapter.
Yes,
So
you
we
can
can use
use that.
any one of the adapter,
Yes,
irrespective of their
any one of them.
application. Okay.
Absolutely. So see what was happening like by 29, but early 2020, like 6 months back, till 6 months back, there was a requirement that I got. Okay, a business requirement in one of the projects I got where I needed to connect to AWS. Okay, so what happened was I was having two options, either to deploy this AWS adapter manually or I directly go with open connectors because there is a AWS open connector available in the suite as well. Okay, but the client was not having the access to suite. It was having only CPI license. So what happened? I had to go for AWS because if I am going for open connector AWS, I will have to pay extra. So at the end of the day, we have to take care of, as consultants and architects, we have to ensure that in the minimum amount we get the maximum profits. So it was a manual activity and client had not to install any other or any other configuration. He was not required, and we were able to connect to AWS using that adapter.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so now
So,
this
Mridul,
was the situation.
was it deployed by your team or like our SAP will be deploying it if we raise it
No,
with
no,
them?
no. I can deploy.
Oh,
I will
you
show you
can.
how to deploy. Yes, it's a
Oh, okay.
very much in our hands. See, the
Oh, got it.
problem is there are in PIP the kind of uh, okay. Let's just continue with the course, guys. We are deviating from it. Okay,
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, sure.
okay. So let's continue,
So,
and we
Mridul,
will
whatever
see.
you read, saying about deep running and all, so even that is also part of this CLT 900, or is it a totally different document you got it from SAP?
No, this is not a part of this course content. There is a different course. Let me show you. I have a soft copy of this. This is CP100. If you are sitting for certification, if you are targeting certification for CLD 900, that is the certification code is C underscore CPI underscore 13. If you're looking for that, then okay, just a second, let me write it for you. There are two courses, two certifications going on. I'm sure many of you will be targeting certification in the coming days. So there are two certifications. One is C underscore CPI underscore 13, and the other one is C underscore CPE underscore 12. So the course content for the recommended books for CPI 13 is CLD 900 plus your CP100, the one that I'm showing you. And for CPI 12, it is CP100 and CLD 200. This is the two certifications which are going on. Then this is the course contents that uh, SAP has come up. So CLD 900 course is in the market from like 3-4 years now. Okay, and recently there has been a version update on this, which now includes, I have shown you the two files, right? These both are CLD 900 courses. So there has been an update. So now we are going with integration suite instead of the the basic of CPI, you can say. But still, I will be covering both of them in the course content. Means this unit from the old course and the new one also we will be covering. Don't worry on that part. Okay, so this is about CLD 900. Then came your CP 100 course that deals with a lot of cloud integration, not cloud integration specifically. It talks more about cloud platform and how can we SAP Integration Suite and SAP Extension Suite. It deals into that a bit more, you know. So integration suite, the introduction is mentioned here, and in the case of that document in CP 100, you will find that in bit more detail. Um, then comes your CLD 200. That is basically on your extensions. How can we use integration technologies on the extensions? How can we use RPA in CPI? What is the role of artificial intelligence going forward? So that is like that is not that much in demand so far, because that's the latest course offering by SAP in integration. Okay, that's the latest one, CLD 200. But in like 6 months or 1 year or 2 years, you will find that in a lot of demand. So this is how the course content, certifications, and all of them are placed right now in SAP's arena. Is it clear?
Thank you. Mridul, another question, maybe like, so in our course, do we get any live environment to do our scenarios? Or,
Yes. For CPI, you will get a live scenario. You will get a tenant where you can go and perform all the 14 exercises and the other exercises also. So yes, you will get it.
So is it a free subscription like whatever SAP providing, or like, or do you guys have own?
Sorry, please come again.
No, SAP is also providing like 1 year free subscription, right? So is it a same
Yes,
subscription, or do you have
it
your
is.
own subscription?
No, I have my own subscription. So see, what happens is you can use that also, or you can use the one that I am going to provide you. That's not a problem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So even like you had your own subscription, like maybe the professional subscription or something different, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good, gotcha.
Okay, guys. So any further doubts, please go ahead. Okay, cool. So let's see what are the advantages of the cloud and how does it differ from a PIPO landscape. So the first one is elasticity. So basically what we can do by using cloud platform integration and cloud products is that we can upscale or downscale the requirements. Okay, we can upscale or downscale the requirement as per our need. Like whenever we need to increase the requirement, like let's assume today we are having 10 interfaces. So I can ask SAP to allocate resources for only those 10 interfaces. Tomorrow, like after 1 month, if we are figuring out, okay, the number of interfaces has increased to 100, I can always go to SAP and I ask for some extra resources to be allocated to my tenant. So that's one very advantageous thing that we are getting in cloud solutions. The second is cost effectiveness. So how is my CPI cost effective? So let's understand that. Let's compare it with my PIPO system, right? On-premise system, PIPO is my on-prem, right? PIPO. So guys, please tell me what are the expenditure points. All of you are having vast experience in PIPO. So what do you think are the expenditure points for an organization while setting up PIPO? Can anybody give me a couple of points? Okay. First one, procurement of servers, oblique hardware. Can I say that? Yes or no?
Yes.
Maintaining data centers. Maintaining data centers. You need to set up the entire data center rooms, right? Where we are keeping all the servers, all that bullshit, where the black boxes are there, maintaining the temperature, blah 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 blah, right? Third thing, now talk about teams. Operating server team is required. You need a database administrator team. Fourth, DBA team. After that, which is the fifth one, you need to have a basis team. You need to have a PIPO team, right? Now comes seventh, license, SAP license. So from a bird's eye view, these seven are the must ones if you are going for a PIPO system. Am I right? You can avoid this by creating a IT team, basically one IT team. In some cases you will find it as OS and DB are different teams, but in short you are deploying some manpower to take care of these jobs, right? So obviously if you are deploying some manpower, you have to spend some money from your pocket as an organization. So for and procurement of servers hardware is really an expensive thing, you know that, right? So now come maintaining data centers also, it is important. Many times there is a fire or something, we hear news every now and then there was a fire in some big company's data center, so they need to maintain a disaster recovery system also. I can mention that. But now if you compare it with your cloud integration, what will happen? How many are the points of expenditure? Only two: subscription cost and your CPI consultant cost. The number of expenditure points have been reduced drastically in the case of cloud integration. You don't need to maintain servers, you don't need to maintain data centers, you don't need to have OS DBA bases, anything. You just need only two things, the last two ones. So overall, as a company, if I will see now, okay, or as a company, it is very much efficient and obviously cost friendly as well. The overall costing when I'm going for on-prem product, it is much more higher than when you are going with cloud integration base. That's what it is telling you, cost effectiveness. You only pay for what you use and minimize your hardware and IT cost. So I told you about elasticity. I hope that everybody is clear with elasticity. Also remember one more point. Whatever you are using, you have to pay only for that. Like if you are using the resources for 10 interfaces, then you need to pay only for those 10 interfaces. You don't need to pay extra for that. And if you are using like 100 interfaces, you need to pay only for those 100 interfaces. Then comes your availability. You can access your solutions anytime, anywhere with any device. Since CPI is a cloud-based solution, so you can access it from any place and anytime on any device. Clear? It is not like PIPO where we need to get a VPN installed first by a basis and IT team, and then I will get the system in my hands. Or if I will connect to VPN from my home, then only I can get into the system. That's not the case. I can directly go and log in into my CPI system and I can start working on it. In some time, I will show you how does the CPI system look like. Then comes simplicity. Your IT department has no effort with server management and software updates. I told you the IT team, OS, DBA, basis team, all the teams who used to take care of the infra part. Infrastructure, remember guys, one thing, what happened in PIPO? Like basis team was taking care of my infra, IT team was taking care of my infra, right? How my data, that database servers are behaving, how much is the space. These are the normal day-to-day jobs that they were engrossed in, they were working on, right? But now all the infra related activities SAP has taken into their own hands. So now with the coming of CPI and Cloud Platform Integration Suite, all these activities have been taken by SAP in their own hands, even in every cloud solution. Let's take the example of Gmail. Gmail is what? Gmail is also like a cloud solution, right? I can access Gmail over internet. Think about the actual data. Where is the actual data getting stored? It is getting stored on the database servers of Google, which is somewhere in the US. We are not responsible as end users. We are just using that particular product. So similarly, earlier in PIPO, client was responsible for using the product as well as maintaining the product. Important thing is maintaining, in bold. But now this maintenance part SAP has taken in its own hands. Infrastructure related activities, everything SAP takes care on its own. So now The load on client side on CPI consultants has been reduced many folds. So what is the advantage of that? The advantage of that is if we were using, like, if we were taking 7 to 8 months for completing a project in PIPO, the same piece of task we can complete in like half the time now with the coming of CPI. And with the coming of now Cloud Platform Integration Suite, this will enhance further. I hope it is clear to you. Any doubts till now, guys? Any doubts?
Yeah, Mirul, just one question. So you said that basis work will be reduced, okay? But say for example, if we have to make a RFC connection to PO system, right? In that case, still there will be those activities required, right? If we have to set up a web service
See,
connection
from
or
now let's talk about PIPO versus CPI, right? In PIPO, first of all, we were having RFC on sender side and receiver side both, right? In CPI, you will find that it is only on the target side. First point. I told you that from integration perspective, if you only talk about the PIPO tool and CPI tool, the activities that basis were doing on PIPO versus what are the activities that they are doing on CPI, the answer to it is zero. There is no activity that is being performed on CPI by basis team.
okay.
Third point is, since you talk about RFC, now let me talk about in that specific terms. So you don't need basis team to create RFC connections here at all. You don't require them. You can directly go. It's just like RFC, because as I told you, RFC is only receiver here. You just need to put in the receiver RFC details here. That's all in the adapter. You don't need, and it is not there for sender. So obviously basis team won't be required. Okay.
So if it's a sender is ECC, Mridul, then even in that case also they don't need to do anything from ECC?
No, we need to do things. See, if they are doing basis team, I told you again. I'm again iterating. My
No,
words
I
are
understand.
basis
Yeah,
team.
no, I understand it. Yeah, from like integration side, base system is not required. But like
Right,
if it's
right, right.
ECC to connect with CPI, in that case, like they would need to do some steps, right?
They need to do some steps, and now it's like very already the line between PIPO and basis was very thin. Now that is totally gone. So
Gotcha.
now business is taking care only of, I think, on the ERP. If you are having an old ERP 6 or older versions of that, then only they are in place. After that, even if you are going for a S4 cloud solution, right? S4 HANA cloud solution. At that time,
Mm-hmm.
even basis is not required in that solution as well, because S4 HANA cloud consultant will take care of all the things, of all such activities, creating the interfaces, everything on that side.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah.
one more question. Sorry. So you said that the interface resources will be reduced in CPI.
Yes.
Just can you elaborate on those resources? What kind of resources we are talking here?
Okay. So see, at the end of the day, we are sorry, my voice is bad today. So see, at the end of the day, whatever we are passing through CPI, right? It is getting stored somewhere on the planet in some database. Can I say that? Even if it is a cloud or a on-premise, the database is the ultimate endpoint of data. Can I say that? Yes or no?
Mhm.
Right.
Okay.
So now, if I am going on CPI, still that some data needs to be stored on SAP servers.
Mhm.
Right. So now, for storing the data on SAP servers, there is some hardware that is required, which is taken care by SAP. So now if somebody is using 10 resources, right? So SAP is charging you for maintaining these resources on their end, first point that we should understand. Secondly, whatever data we are passing through CPI, that is going and is getting stored on CPI, on SAP's data centers hardware. It is getting stored there. And the third point is, whenever we are storing something, SAP's resources are getting used. If the resources are getting used, it means there is a cost that we will need to pay as end clients. If we are using more resources, we need to pay extra. If we are using less resources, we need to pay less. It's just like your postpaid postpaid phone model. Like whatever your number of calls that you are making, the number of services that you are using, you have to pay only for that. In the case of PIPO, irrespective of how many interfaces you are developing, right? You need to get a minimum RAM, you need to get a minimum hardware on your system, on your landscape. Minimum server requirement should be there to install PIPO system, right? Even if I'm using one interface or I'm using 100 interfaces. But here that's not the case. Here it is like if you are using one interface, then the costing will be different than what you are using for 100. I
Okay.
hope I clarified your doubt.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
The three most important reasons for switching to the cloud, we will cover the subscription model also. There are in fact 2 or 3 different types of subscription models that are there in the market on CPI and Cloud Platform Integration Suite. We will cover them in the next few sessions. The three most important reasons for switching to cloud: leverage the cloud for faster deployment and lower upfront costs. I told you how the costs are lower in the case of CPI. Faster deployment, how the faster deployment is happening now. Let me show you CPI, then I will explain you. Just a second. Give me a second, guys. Let me log in into the system and then I will show you. Give me 2 minutes. Okay, yeah, so I hope that you are able to see my screen. So this is the CPI tenant that we will be using for this particular training. So if you will see here, first of all, there is Discover. Okay, in Discover, what we get is we get the pre-packaged integration content. So what is pre-packaged integration content? In PIPO, if you are using, okay, apart from couple of scenarios, I'm not saying this pre-packaged integration scenarios thing is totally dedicated to CPI. The early development of it was uh, from this PIPO also. In PIPO, if you remember, we were getting some predefined, pre-configured software packages, right? SWCVs we were getting. Like for Ariba, we were getting some SWCVs that were totally devoted to Ariba integration. Similar to that kind, but now in CPI, that has reached to another level altogether. So we are having more than 7,000 predefined iFlows available to us, which are scattered to almost each and every SAP cloud solution available in the market today. Like for SuccessFactors, if we will see, if I'm just typing SuccessFactors, so you can see that in SuccessFactors only we are having 58 packages as of today right now. In each of these packages, there will be multiple iFlows. So now if you will talk about Employee Central, you can see for Employee Central, we are having a total one package devoted for Employee Central integration. So whenever there is a new requirement, let's talk how does it help us in the project. So if I'm getting a new project and I am sure that this is a very standard requirement that I'm getting, I can always check on this discover whether any of the iFlows matches my requirement before going for a custom one. If it matches, it's a direct plug in and play kind of a thing. I just need to copy on my tenant and I'm good to go for end-to-end connectivity. So when I'm going for a large scale greenfield integration project, okay, many times it's like these iFlows work for our advantage. Also, if like around 80% of the iFlow is working as expected and there is a bit of customization, like there's a small twitching that is required in that iFlow to ensure that it meets the customer requirements, then what I can do, I can edit these iFlows as well. That's one advantage that we are getting as well, to edit these iFlows as per the client's needs. Okay, so how does it help? How does this functionality help us? First of all, instead of developing everything from scratch like we used to do in PIPO, we don't need to do that. We can directly go and get these particular packages installed on my tenant, copied on my tenant. I won't use the word installed here, copied on my tenant, and I can use them firstly. The second thing that is very much of interest is that if you will remember, like in basis, whenever we were getting any issue in PIPO, right, the basis team used to update the support packages or restart the server. These were some common things that they were doing. But now the packages are updated automatically by SAP. There is no as I told you earlier, also there is no involvement of basis in PIPO at all. So if you will see on the right hand side, all these packages are getting updated on a regular basis. Like this particular package was 8 days ago. If you compare it with PIPO and basis, how basis was doing, it was like a package, a support package is coming that is 6 months, 1 year old, and then when we face the challenge, then they were deploying that particular packages. So it was more of a reactive kind of policy that SAP consultants were following in earlier days. But now with the coming of this particular advancement, all the packages we are getting in a proactive manner. SAP gives you, before the requirement generates, SAP gives you a pre-packaged integration content to you. So yeah, that's what it is meant by my other option: accelerate innovation cycles with more frequent carefree updates, leverage scalability at all times, and dynamic capacity to increase flexibility and keep up with big competitors. So as I told you, you can increase the resource sizing whenever you want. It's up to you. Now comes the concept of cloud computing: software as a service, platform as a service, and infra as a service. Guys, any idea what is meant by these three terms? What is meant by software as a service, integration as a service, and platform as a service? Can somebody explain me? It's an open question.
So platform as a service as a like a CPI, software as a service, it's like a I mean, it's delivered over the internet content like pre-packages one, and infrastructure is maintained like as a data center.
Yeah, data center is fine. What about platform as a service?
It's a platform as a, I mean, like basically CPI will comes under as a platform as a services. It
Why not
deliver
SaaS?
SaaS is I mean, it's a pre-delivered contents like as you shown here like that, right? I
No, no,
mean,
no. Pre-delivered integration content is a part of the product. CPI is
right,
a product. CPI is a SaaS product. I'll
right,
explain.
right. Yes, software is yeah. Okay, Kevin.
Okay, just a second. I will show you a slide that will clarify your doubts. Okay, so this is the structure of my infra as a service. In infra as a service, we are having virtualization, storage, server, and networking. So in short, all the data, if you are getting the capability to store data on cloud, only that capability, that is a part of your infra as a service. Also, I will show you an example of infra as a service that we are using right now in my CPI landscape. I'll show you an example of infra as a service. Okay. So virtualization, servers, storage, networking. These four, if they are provided to to you by a vendor, it means you are given a IaaS solution. After that, over this platform, over infra as a service, if you are deploying your runtime, middleware, and operating system also, it becomes platform as a service. And over platform, if you are developing or you are deploying your applications and data, that will become a SaaS product. In SaaS product, customizations of the product itself is not possible. Like I cannot go and if this is my CPI, right? I cannot say, okay, this is not a good menu. I want to change the discover from right to from left to right. I want to do that. It's not possible. If you are using a Gmail is also what? It's like a SaaS product. If you are using Gmail, if you don't like the look and feel of the Gmail, you cannot change it. You can only use it, right? So that's one important feature of my SaaS products. CPI, SuccessFactors, Concur, all of these products that you are listing, they belongs to SaaS community. If you talk about platform as a service, cloud platform that SAP used to offer, that is an example of your past scenario. Oh yeah, and if you talk about infra, Amazon Web Services is an example of infra. Even Azure is providing these companies are providing their own infra as a service solution. Clear? Any doubts?
Yeah. Uh, if you don't mind, just 2 minutes of time required for me. If you open any one of the artifact, I mean, I'm sure definitely we'll be covering upcoming session, but I would like to understand now just the artifact, one of the artifact. Every time I'm going to be confusing, comparing with PAPO to CPI. Basically, if it is in PAPO, first we'll define the data types or ESR
Nothing
concept.
is required here.
Yeah,
So
I
see,
agree, I
what
agree,
will happen?
I
Yeah.
agree. But here, if you open any one of the artifact here directly,
Okay.
iFlow will become okay,
Okay.
and
Okay.
most
Okay.
of
I
the
will show
90.
you.
Okay,
So this is the artifacts. This is the
yes,
entire
yes,
integration flows in it.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I'll open this. Let me open
yes,
any integration flow also.
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, this is a integration flow in this particular case. Now, what is your doubt?
Okay, basically if you can see here I mean first we'll define the service interface or data types, message types, something like that, right? But here we are
Right.
not find such kind of here also we can see, but when will come as in the mapping step. But before there's a couple of steps will be there, I mean patterns 90% of the iFlows have been observed content buffer is a basic input, I mean starting point like that. So
Uh,
here it's totally I'm confused how the iFlow will be extracting the data from the central system. We are just defining the adapter, that's it. But before that, how it is extracting, that will be so many times I'm confusing.
Okay, okay. Let me answer that question for you. So see the architecture. Okay, the architecture of PIPO is very much different than CPI. So if somebody is thinking that PIPO, CPI is an extension of PIPO, I will say that's not the case. So around after working on both the platforms, I have observed that 90% of CPI landscape, I'm talking from landscape perspective, it is different. Functionality wise, if you talk about the functions, like mapping functions, if you talk about it, it's very much same in both the cases. Okay, so there are some similarities, but nine around, if you will see as an entire product comparison, if I'm doing, PIPO is very much old and CPI is on the newer side, as we all know, and the overall look and feel has changed drastically here. Now, if you come about the objects that you're talking about, data types, message types, service interfaces, nothing is required here at all. First and the foremost thing, we are not taking care of any of these things. If we need to edit our message mappings or anything, we are directly doing it on the XSD level. We are doing the additions, subtractions, all those things.
Right. Before the XSD structure itself, we are performing couple of transformation steps here, right? Like example, take the content modifier and routing decisions, like that.
Yeah, they will come into picture. Means when we will discuss this in detail. Okay, they will come into picture, like what is a content modifier, how does my routing work, how does multicast work, what is Groovy script, how to write Groovy script. All these concepts are we will discuss in detail. We cannot
Yeah, yeah.
discuss it in the
Okay.
just
No, no,
one
no,
hour
no.
of demo session. Yeah.
My question is was different. That's it. Okay. I told you right initially. You'll definitely will be
So what
covering
is
after.
your exact question? Means I'm still not able to understand that.
That my
Please come
question is
again.
the same.
Just try.
Like basically when we starting the PAPO interface, any
Right.
interface, but
Right.
first we'll go the steps. Like as you mentioned, first we'll cover the yes or objects. Then later we'll go for the ID configuration, right? But
Absolutely.
here
Right.
we are not going to be considering about any ESR concept. Directly, we'll whatever adapter we can choose the adapter sender side to extract the system. On top of that, then we'll go for the start event. After the start event, we're going to be use the content modifier, and then sometimes I have been noticed only content modifier is that. Then directly we'll pause connecting to the receiver system with respect to adapter. Okay.
Okay.
So in that case, how the data is passing to the receiver system, that concept, that's it.
Okay, let me try to clarify your doubt. Okay, so in PIPO and CPI, first of all, we are every middleware. What are the two major things that every middleware has? That two major questions that every middleware answers. The first one is what to send, and the second one is where to send. Right? These are the two basic questions. In PIPO, this question is answered by your ESR, what to send, which is nothing but my data structures, how to play with data structure, and where to send. This is my routing step. This is taken care by my ID, right? In CPI, we are having both these ESR and ID to be on the one place only. First thing, very clear. There is no bifurcation like ESR and ID. Remember, only thing that we are having here is, if you will see, this is a very straightforward scenario. There is one option like here, if you will see, this is a router step. This is just like your interface and receiver determination. We are putting a logic. On the basis of this, we are directing the message to the different branches. Now, if you talk about mapping is there in CPI. Okay, how to develop data structures, that is also we can do. Means there is no explicit tool like data types, like we used to do data types and message type in ESR. It's not exactly like that, but yes, we can edit the XSDs. We can access for editing the XSD. We are using a simple Notepad and Notepad++ options that are available. So if you tomorrow you comes up and says, Mridul, I want a data structure type, I want a data type, right? In CPI, that is not the case. The functionality is not available here to edit the data types directly here, and even that is not even required, honestly speaking. But creating the data types and message types, it was hassle. Now, if I will show you when we will be covering the other topics, when we will come to that, I will show you how easy it is to edit the data types, the entire structures in my CPI, if you talk about. So obviously, I will say the question that you are asking is more from a look and feel perspective. So as I told you, from look and feel, this particular product is much more advanced, having much more capabilities, and very user friendly. I'll say that. Means even I have given this training to multiple to consultants from almost all the middlewares now. So I have around given more than 50-60 trainings so far. So I have interacted with a lot of people, even from Dell Boomi background and from this thing. There's one more MuleSoft backgrounds, right? So they say that it is much more easier to use, user friendly, and like in MuleSoft, you have to write everything in a coded form. So coding wise, it's not that much required. I'll say that it's more of a configuration based platform that they have given us. Uh, so this is the answer, but your answer will get more clarified once we will pass through this course. By the end of the course, I'm sure this question of
Yeah.
yours will be clarified.
Okay. Thank you.
Mridul, I have one question.
Please.
Yeah, here the Groovy is mandatory or it is an optional like Java
Optional.
mapping?
It's Java mapping only. It's optional.
Oh,
Yes. If you know Groovy script, it's better. Okay. If you don't know, it's not going to stop you from working on CPI. You will say how much in this entire course I am going to spend not more than half an hour on the Groovy scripts.
okay.
Okay. Any further questions, guys? Okay, so one more question. Now since people are from PIPO background, let me give you a shock of your lifetimes. Okay, let me give you a shock. Be ready. So let's assume this is my sender. Message is being sent. I'm sure it's a very easy one for all of us. PIPO. Now we are sending it to the receiver. This is our outbound scenario. We call it as outbound, right? Everybody agrees? Why do we call it as outbound? Because the reference system is nothing but my external system, right? Not PIPO. And this is my inbound. I hope that I am correct, right? But when I reverse it, when I replace PIPO, sorry, Control Z. Okay, when I replace my PIPO with my CPI, what happens? Let's see. I'm replacing this with CPI. So this outbound will not be outbound, this will be inbound. And this will be your outbound. So now most of all of you are coming from PIPO background. So I thought it's important for you to understand, because in the coming days when we will dig deep into CPI, you are going to get confused. In the terminology, somewhere it will be mentioned as inbound. You will say why it is inbound, it should be outbound. So before starting only, I want to clarify this doubt. Because why SAP has done that, I don't know. The answer to it is I don't know why they are branding this as inbound or outbound when they were doing the vice versa in PIPO. But now they have done this. So it's important for us to understand. I hope that this is clear. Now, yeah, where were we? Integration as a scenario, platform as a service, this is clear. Okay, one last topic I want to clear before closing this session. So I'm sure I told you in the last slide about infra as a service, and I told you that in some time I will tell you about the one scenario where we are using infra. So let's understand that. Okay, I told you that SAP is providing access to the infrastructure, right? The infrastructure is provided to us by SAP. So there are two URLs that SAP gives to us. The first one is my tenant URL. The URL that you are seeing right now is called my tenant URL. And there is one more URL that is called my accounts URL, where I can go and manage all my users. Okay, so just a second, let me open that also.
Brazil, can I have
Yeah,
one question?
yeah, please.
See, we have developed,
Okay.
suppose we have developed 10 interfaces in the CPI. Okay.
Uh,
Okay, we are not going to support for that, right? SAP will going to support for that,
for infra,
correct?
yes, SAP
Am I
is
correct?
going to. Yes, you are correct. For
Okay.
infra, SAP is going to support us irrespective of the conditions.
Okay.
Infra related issues, not from development perspective. If there is an issue on the iFlow level, why it is failing, you can always have to check internally within your consultants. But if tomorrow, which will never happen, that you are not even able to access the tenant, let's assume due to some XYZ reason, the tenant is gone, you are not able to access your tenant, then you will have to check with SAP.
Okay.
Okay, but this will never happen because I have been working in 6 years. SAP always drops a regular emails. If there is a downtime, it asks you for maintenance activities. We are putting a downtime, and that is almost like once in 3-4 months we will get that mail. We will start getting the intimation notification from SAP a long back. Okay, and then they will take the downtime, and that is also on weekends. So that's not a problem for us at all. So now this is my accounts URL. Okay, also we call it as cockpit URL, remember. So now here we can go and see the regions. If we want to check the data centers, right, what are the different data centers available to us, right? So in this case, the one tenant that I am showing you, right, this particular tenant, sorry, this one, in this tenant URL, you can see EU1 is there, right? This tells me that this particular tenant is based out of a data center which is in Europe. EU1 is a unique data center code given to only one data center of SAP that is based out in Europe. Similarly, for each and every tenant, okay, a tenant URL comprises of a tenant ID and a unique code for the data center. So there are 14 data centers. So let's see how the IDs looks like for each one of them. So if I will go here, if I will go into regions, so you can see what are the different data centers that are available to us that SAP is offering right now. So if you will see this EU1, the one that we are using is the EU1. This is the code. This is based out of Europe. ROT means the city name, that is Rotterdam. It's based out of Rotterdam. Similarly, if you are using EU2, it is of Frankfurt. Similarly, if you are using one of Amsterdam, it is EU3. Similarly, it is for in different cities, there are different data centers that has been established. Right now, there are only 14 data centers across the globe that are managed by SAP. Only 14. 3, 36, 39, 312, 348. So the entire world organizations are getting maintained by these 14 data centers, which are scattered across the globe. And unfortunately, we don't have any data center in India so far. So the nearest one that we are having is in Saudi Arabia and your UAE, Dubai. AE1 and Saudi Arabia one. Okay, so if you will see the infrastructure that is there, it is getting maintained by SAP. If you will see everywhere, it is mentioned infrastructure provider is none other than my SAP is only providing me the infrastructure. But now let's go at the top and let's see the other regions, right? So this is the case with Neo. These are called my Neo environment. Neo, there's a difference between Neo and Cloud Foundry. In Neo environments, if you will see, the infrastructure provider is SAP only, and the tenant ID is of 3 characters. Region ID is of 3 characters, as we can see. If I'll scroll up, there's an option of multi environment, which we also call it as Cloud Foundry environment. Okay, in the case of Cloud Foundry, the infrastructure provider is other than SAP always. So see, there are 14 Cloud Foundry environments also. So now if we will see here for Cloud Foundry Australia, infrastructure provider is AWS. Brazil, AWS. Similarly, for my Europe, Netherlands, it is Azure. Japan is Azure. None of these are from SAP infrastructure provider. So the major difference between a Neo and my Cloud Foundry is in Neo, infrastructure provider is SAP. In Cloud Foundry, the infrastructure provider are other players. So if infrastructure is getting provided by Azure, let's assume, the softwares, the platforms that we are are using, that is of SAP. So this becomes an example of infra as a service, where the infrastructure was provided by other companies, but the softwares that we are using is from SAP only. So this is a particular classical example of infra as a service. You can say Cloud Foundry is an example of infra as a service. I hope this is clear. Any doubts, guys, so far?
Uh, does the rate vary if it is a neo environment subscription and if it is what was that cloudy
Foundry. No,
foundry?
I won't say. See, again, this is, I'm sure there is no clear-cut bifurcation between Neo and Cloud Foundry on the pricing part I am talking about. Not from technical perspective, from pricing perspective, there is no such document or anything where SAP says that we are charging extra for Cloud Foundry or less for Cloud Foundry. Also, in the coming days, I will be showing you a particular open source platform. No, not open source platform. I will say on SAP site only, you can go and check the pricing of each one of them. Okay. So from pricing perspective, if you talk about, there is no clear cut bifurcation between these two products. But capability wise, both are similar. If you talk about, is there any particular differences on CPI? I'm saying the word CPI. No changes on CPI on Cloud Foundry and my Neo. But if I am using CPIS, then there are changes. CPIS will be on my Cloud Foundry only, because open connectors will be always provided you on Cloud Foundry. So there are these are some of the points that we should take into account while doing our integration architecture for an organization. So we will discuss these in more detail in the coming days. Why SAP is doing this strategy, what is the roadmap, where SAP is taking us ahead, how the development, how the infrastructure for integration is changing. Means I started my career in 2011 and now I'm in 2021. In 10 years, I have seen a lot in integration happening. And in last 3 years, it's like tsunami of integration that has come up. Means there's a lot of things. Like if you talk about integration only in SAP, okay, I'm talking about only SAP products which are there. In CPI, there is CPI. Then you are having API management. Okay, then you are having open connectors. Then you are having CIG, Cloud Integration Gateway. Then you are having the CPI DS is different flavor altogether. Then you are having Integration Advisor. Means a lot of things are coming up every day. And now, yeah, there is a new term, February 2021, a new platform, BTP. BTP integration has been added. What are these? Now, BTP is still, I'm just trying to go through it. But this is a new term that you are going to listen in next not couple of months, but yeah, in next 1 year you will listen this BTP. There is going to come. There will be a lot of buzz on these products. So you can see in 2011 we were having only PI, right? If we have to connect SAP straightforward, it was PI. You don't have to think. But now we have to think which one will be the right product for an organization. Also, let's not forget about PIPO. How I can forget about PIPO? This is also a middleware from SAP. So you can see around 8, 9, 10 different products are there that SAP is offering on an integration layer only. So, and each one of them is catering to different purposes. Then there is messaging service also. There is one messaging service as well. So there's a lot to explore in integration. So the target of this particular training will be my CPI, Cloud Platform Integration. We will touch base on what is API management, open connector, CPI. Yes, we will be looking into a bit. So yes, we will be doing this, but from from SAP's perspective, integration layer is the future, and they're putting a lot of development. They're putting a lot of resources in the development of new features in CPIs. Okay. Any further questions, guys?
We are covering only iFlow artifact, or else we are covering different artifacts also. Like
We will be covering three types of we will be covering three types of artifacts. We will be covering value mappings. We will be covering how to. We will also see OData service as well. Okay. We will be just and integration flows. Obviously, the emphasis of this particular training will be on iFlows.
yeah. Value mapping we can directly define in the message mapping also, right? And CPI message mapping. What's the difference between
Yes.
that
We
one
are
and
going
this
to
one?
cover all those things later on because we are short of time today.
Sorry,
So
carry
all
on.
these things we are going to cover in the next few next sessions, coming sessions. So technically, because the value mapping I can explain you, but it will take some time. We will have to do one exercise also. So at that time only I'll cover. So there's one exercise based on value mappings also.
Is it both are same or different? That's what that's it.
No, they are different. Both the options that you are getting, one option you are getting at the mapping level, that is different. The one that you are getting at the package level, that is different.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Sorry, I have two questions. I'll make it quickly. One is that will we also be covering transport mechanism, in this course if we have to move the interfaces from development to quality to production? Because
Yes,
normally it
there
is.
is a topic based on that, which where we are having four different types of transport mechanisms. I will show you what are the settings you need to perform for transporting the iFlows. That's what I will be showing you. But end to end, if you are thinking that I will be able to show you that, because I won't be able to show that to you because I have only one tenant at my disposal, and also we have some restricted rights, like for transportation we need some admin rights which are not there on this particular tenant. So that I won't be able to show you. How can we transport? How can I transport? I can show you using manual ones, but there are three other options for which we need to do some settings which I won't be able to show you.
Okay.
So I will say like around if you want how to transport, 60 to 70% I can show you how to do it, but 30-40% will be there because there are some constraints, system constraints.
Mhm. Okay, and
Yeah, next question.
yeah, thank you. Next question was like, suppose if we do nicely this course, then at the end of this course, will we be better equipped to develop any interface or iFlow on our own, or do we still need to?
Yes. So the ultimate target of this particular course is to ensure that if there is a business requirement that comes up, you can think in terms of CPI. What are the different functionalities you need? How to develop an iFlow? How can you, even now with the coming of CPIs in the course, even I will be telling you like how can we even use APIM and CPIF open connectors? How can we use all these technologies in perspective where each one fits in the SAP landscape? That's also we are going to cover. But exercises, if you will talk about from exercise perspective, let me be very straightforward. That will be basically on CPI iFlows only. And to answer your questions, yes, the overall target by the end of this training, you will all say that yes, we can develop the iFlows on our own independently.
Okay. And suppose like maybe since the classes are going to happen every day, I mean just like worst scenario, I'm just asking, in case exercises is on and all we are not able to do for a practice purpose by ourselves, suppose it is taking more time. I know the class cannot wait, right? So everyone finished, so it will keep moving. Will we have like out of class support, or maybe even though say course is finished, we can reach out for like
You can
completing
always
the.
reach out to me after the course gets completed. And secondly, we are doing the in many cases, like if the exercises that we will be doing, right, they will be in the classes only. So you can move with the batch. If you're not able to do it, I'll take it. I can always ask you to share your screens, where you are stuck. I'll guide you and get your issues resolved. Okay, and during the class session, so on. So even as I told you that we are having classes on weekends, like today is a Saturday and I'm still taking it. So on Saturdays I prefer, because I'm also working. Let's we should all understand that even I'm working for a couple of companies, so I have some commitments there also. So on weekdays, if we are taking like 1.5 hours, I can take 3 hours on a weekend. And even if required, we can just strategize half an hour more to clarify your doubts. Time is not a constraint during this training, don't worry.
Okay.
The
So
target is for you to understand the concepts.
yeah, thanks for that. So, what will be the like way, like you said that, you can share your screen. So, will it be like, you will be showing those assignments and then parallelly we are doing on our system, or is it
Okay,
like,
so let me tell you how do we do. So initially I will show you, because you are not accustomed to CPI platform, right? So initially, basic exercises I will show you. Okay, like this is what you need to do. This is how, where you need to click, and after 4-5 exercises, you have the document that I have shown you. In that, it is clearly mentioned where you need to click. Every click is mentioned there. Okay,
okay,
then I expect like after 4-5 exercises, you can read the document, um, you can do the exercise on your own, and I will play as a debug kind of thing. If you are stuck somewhere, I will ask you to share your screen. We will sit together. Also, I can see your iFlows on my system because the tenant is going to be the same. I will look into your system. I'll guide you that this is the error that you have committed, and we will try to run the scenarios end to end.
okay,
So in this particular case, what we are going to do, the from first to 8 exercises, if you will see, from second to 8 exercises, they are basically on the connectivity with Twitter. How are we able to extract the data from Twitter? Because see, we don't have a success factor system, we don't have Ariba systems, right, for training purposes, so we cannot connect to these systems. But for developing of the custom iFlows, how to see how does my content modifier work, how is my routing work, all these concepts we can cover during any kind of integration with any kind of platform. So since Twitter is a free platform, we can always connect that using CPI. So from first to 8 exercise, you will see that particular iFlow is getting generated. By the way, that's a very complex iFlow. Let me show you the iFlow that we are going to target during this particular training. Just page number 120. So this is the iFlow that we will be developing. And in this, you can see there is write, content modifier, request reply, content modifier, JSON to XML converters, message mapping, XSLT mapping, get methods. So there are a lot of things here to understand. A lot of concepts gets cleared while doing this particular, while developing this particular iFlow. Apart from this, I will be also showing you um, the the actual real-time scenarios that have been developed for various organizations. From my consulting perspective, I will give you an idea on that as well. I will share you my consulting experience as well. Okay, guys, so I hope that I clarified your doubt, and see you in the sessions coming. And have a great day, guys, and a great weekend.
Yeah, Mridul, I have small doubt.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, Mridul, if I have a requirement, the package is matching for my requirement. How much time it will take to implement and to move the production?
The
Just you told
package
copy
is,
and paste, right?
it will take not more than half an hour, 30 minutes.
Okay.
If let's assume you are using a standard package, okay, standard iFlow, and all of the
Mhm.
requirements are matching, you are sure that it is the right one. Okay, you can use 30 minutes, not more than that.
Okay. If there is a small change, we can do that in that standard package as per our
Changes,
requirement.
any kind of changes you can do in the standard, in the package, not in the standard package. You need to copy that iFlow to a custom package, and
Mhm.
then you can change it,
Mhm.
change the standard
Okay.
iFlow. You cannot change
Oh,
it within the same package in most of the cases. In some cases, SAP is allowing you these days, but there can be. I'll show you that particular. This is again technical. Let's not get into technicalities anymore.
okay,
But yes, it is possible. Even you can change anything. I'll show you ways of changing that. Not a problem.
okay, fine. Thank you.
Any further questions, guys? Okay, great. Then let's close the session and bye, guys. Take care.
Thank you.